All right, everybody, it's Green Thunder's Corner, the daily reading, part 2, chapter 18, Proverbs. In estrangement, one seeks pretext. With all persistence, he picks a quarrel. The fool takes no delight in understanding, but rather in displaying what he thinks. With wickedness comes contempt, and disgrace comes scorn. The words from a man's mouth are deep waters, but the source of wisdom is a flowing brook. It is not good to be partial to the guilty, and so to reject a rightful claim. The fool's lips lead him into strife, and his mouth provokes a beating. The fool's mouth is his ruin, his lips are a snare for his life. The words of a talebearer are like dainty morsels that sink into one's inmost being. Now, this is a verse I circled a long time ago. The man who is slack in his work is own brother to the man who does destructive. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The just man runs to it and is safe. The rich man's wealth is his strong city. He fancies it a high wall. Before his downfall, a man's heart is haughty, but humility goes before honors. He who answers before he hears is the folly and the shame. A man's spirit sustains him in infirmity, but a broken spirit who can bear? The mind of the intelligent gains knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks knowledge. A man's gift clears the way for him, and gains him access to great men. The man who pleads his case first seems to be in the right, then his opponent comes and puts him to the test. This verse right here kind of happened to me. So I was having, sometimes I would miss emails at work, or I didn't understand them. And so when things would happen to my schedule, I would, kind of, ask questions and kind of be like, hey, why is this happening? And they would refer back to, it was in an email. And I was like, I read all my emails, and I didn't see that. And so this happened on Friday. My supervisor, he sent me all these, able to track what I'm reading and not reading. And I was like, wow, nice. I guess I should have said I don't read all my emails, or I'm not clicking on them appropriately to show that I'm reading them. So that's wonderful. You're awesome. Have a wonderful day. Noted. I learned that when you say things like noted or other things else, it's just another form of, saying the other bad word. It starts with F and Y, but it's more professional. So you're not really saying those words because, of course, you can be fired for those words. But that's what he did. He just kind of, put me to the test. He proved that I don't look at all my emails according to the system and what it records. So it was, you just got to be careful. You got to be careful what you say at work, I guess, because these people that you work with, they don't care about you. They want to keep you where you're at, in my opinion. They don't want you to grow. They don't want you to become better than them. Especially when you read the Bible, you try to follow the Lord's teachings and make yourself at least more presentable to the Lord when you pass on to the next life. So that judgment isn't as harsh on you as it would be those that wish to snare you in traps and laugh at your follies and all your faults. All right, here we go. The lot puts an end to disputes and is decisive in a controversy between the mighty. A brother is a better defense than a strong city, and a friend is like the bars of a castle. From the fruits of the mouth has his fill. With the yield of his lips he sates himself. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Those who make it a friend shall eat its fruit. He who finds a wife finds happiness. It is a favor he receives from the Lord. The poor man implores, but the rich man answers harshly. Some friends bring ruin on us, but a true friend is more loyal than a brother. So I want to just give another example of what has happened in my life on number 19. A brother is better defense than a strong city, and a friend is like bars on a castle. This was kind of like what happened that my brother told me. He said that he has children. I do, and I do not. But his children have a certain teacher that helps them, improve in school. Now he never knew this teacher before, other than it was just the teacher of his children. And because I struggled in high school, more than most normal people would, that's why she got to her career and wanted to help children so they didn't have to go through what I went through, because this teacher and I were classmates, I believe, through elementary, middle, high school. So I guess she could see what I couldn't see. And so when she was asking my brother questions, when she found out our last names and stuff like that, he was getting a little defensive because he's very more cultural than I am, tactful as well. He was just like, after certain questions, he was just like, hey, you better get to the point, because what you're talking about is my brother. And, in his mind, he's like, I'm going to defend him. And to his surprise, of course, her intentions were not like that. She was just checking to see how I was doing and how life was going. And he was like, oh, okay, great. But, it's just when you're talking to people and you're asking questions, you might want to start something a little bit different, instead of like, where do you live? Did you go to high school? Do you have your brother? Is his name Steven? Stuff like this. And you start going on and on and on. And then you're kind of thinking, whoa, yeah, my brother is named Steven. And what are you trying to do? And then they say, oh, I'm just trying to see how he's doing. And I got into this career because of him. And, now I can help people, and because I don't want people to struggle like he did. And so, it's just, I believe, how you start off. But he was ready to, defend for me, even though we hadn't spoken in some time. And I always thought, wow, that just really surprised me. Anyway, that's a little bit for Proverbs. Now we got part 3. Please hold for that. Have a wonderful, and just hold on. Sorry, hold on. We're not done.